The latest technology helps keep criminals out of the area. The suspects broke into 19 cars last night by smashing out the windows. This is one of the worst times of year for grass fires. The darkest states have jobless rates of up to 15%. So you can see the Southeast and the West Coast. This license plate shows you just how burnt that pickup truck is after flying off the cliff. Unscrew the sprinkler head from the pipe, but that takes a few seconds.
Brittany Davis-Pulley joins us live in the newsroom with the pup's recovery. Brittany?
This is our first look at Frosty after witnesses say he was thrown from a car last week in Monterey. It actually makes the grapes darker and taste more rich. Many casualties of the high wind. The tree was literally knocked over. He heard the taser go off, pulled a gun, and aimed it at officers. It may look like just a lot of rocks and dirt, but this future site of the Goodwill would be one of 100,000 signatures needed to get Governor Brown's attention.
Tonight, one man is dead after police say he broke into a Salinas home. And Central Coast News reporter Brittany Davis-Pulley found out it was the homeowner who did the shooting.
That's right, Suzanne. Neighbors say it's not the first time they've been the target of home break-ins, and it's about time somebody fought back.
Finally, the owners got the strike back. I can safely tell Salinas and the surrounding area, strike one for the good guys.
That's Charlie Holliday's reaction after learning a man was shot dead for barging into his neighbor's home. He's lived here all his life, and too often the suspects get away.
And maybe the others will take this as a hint that we're not going to put up with it anymore. We're going to protect our homes, we're going to protect our own at any cost.
The cost was the intruder's life. At 12:30 this afternoon, Monterey County sheriffs responded to a 911 call of reports of a shooting. When they arrived, they learned an armed man got into a fight with someone in the home. They exchanged gunfire, leaving the suspect dead. Daryl Hathaway lives across the street and said the homeowner's son shot the man because he didn't know him. He said the people who live there own an electrical business and have had their home vandalized several times before. A security camera inside the home captured the whole thing.
They were sitting in their living room talking, according to Ron, the owner, the gentleman. And his son saw someone walk in the garage with a gun in his hand on the monitor. So his son got up and got a gun himself and walked out to see what was going on.
If it is self-defense, the sheriff's office said the shooter would be protected.
The law is very specific pertaining to self-defense issue. If you in any way feel threatened, you have the right to defend yourself, your property, and your homestead.
I'm Brittany Davis-Pulley in Salinas, your Central Coast News. This engagement ring meant the world to Richard James Steinmetz, who his family called Jim.
The picture on his cell phone was a picture of her hand with the ring. And that tells me how much he loved her, that he wanted that there.
Jim's life was taken on January 19th of this year when Callista Garcia's Jeep crossed over the center line and hit Jim and his fiancée on Highway 1 near Point Lobos.
He was showing me the sights. He was showing me places and was doing things that I hadn't done before. I'm sorry.
Today, a judge heard evidence on whether the case should go to trial, but Jim's sister already made up her mind.
She killed him, and he was young. I expected to have another 30 years with him.
Callista Garcia was arrested shortly after the accident for driving under the influence. After today's hearing, Callista Garcia walked right down this path, still a free woman. But the victim's family hopes that could soon change.
I just don't want her to be able to walk. Do it to somebody else.
I'm Brittany Davis-Pulley in Salinas, your Central Coast News. Last August, this is what 4-year-old Paris looked like. She was on the verge of death and even had bite marks from other horses competing for food. And this is Paris now. She's back to a healthy weight, but it's not just physical changes her trainer sees.
She's a great example of how resilient and forgiving a horse can be, because she sure didn't have much offered by the human before.
Paris is one of the 16 original horses still looking for a permanent home, along with a few new additions. This 4-month-old foal was actually born from the horses rescued in San Ardo and needs to be adopted herself. Beth Brookhauser with the SPCA said all the horses are perfectly healthy and you can ride most of them.
I think that's one of the other misconceptions, is a lot of people think that animals who came here are in some way damaged goods. And so many of our horses are great, wonderful, very, very useful horses.
As for Paris, these physical scars will probably last a lifetime. but her mental scars could be wiped away with a new home. I'm Brittany Davis Pulley in Salinas, your Central Coast News.